First time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Skates and coffee with Olga.
In English.
In English. How many conversations about skating did we have over the course that we've been together?
I don't know, way too many.
Way too many. Every day, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. It's nice to do our first skates and coffee. And what
a special one.
A special one, exactly.
Very nice project.
Yeah.
So, tell me, what do we have here?
So basically what we have is 10-year plus now of technology ideas cramped into one project. One that took us a bit longer than expected. So the idea, I think it's almost 2 years ago, 1.5?
Yeah,
one and a half.
Yeah.
We did a limited edition series for our 10-year anniversary, which you know, because you worked on it as well. And the idea was at the time to do the 10 GTOs, which was with the original Kevlar shell and then with some gold accents dating to the Ben Hermanis, our first actual skate. And then do 10 Brutales, same colorway basically with the details, and then some special edition. You get like the aluminium cards with it, lasered in, stuff like this. The T-shirt, like the special bag,
book.
yeah,
the book
and the
as
book,
well. Yeah.
exactly, 10-year book. So next to this, the idea was there to basically create the Superleggera again for the new year, because we just ended the run of the first Superleggera. And I was already working on development for the Superleggera SP. And then the idea was there, what if we do a one-of-one Superleggera SPX, which basically the X stands for the 10-year. And yeah, due to how long the project took for the Superleggera, the normal one, the follow-up for the first edition, it took just so much time. Corona was there. Working on the molds, it didn't go as planned. It has been like, it was a struggle, you remember, it cost a lot of money, way too much money.
Yeah.
Investing in people and it didn't plan out. It happens, and in the end, with Jelle, it was like with Jelle and the combination of trying to find a way to make it work, never giving up. And so basically the Superleggera SP was born. And I had difficulties with trying to find, I was unsure about what this project should be. Is it just going to be something that I want to do and keep it for myself, which at one point we might have discussed about it. I remember doing a gloss sample standing there in the office just to look at it, if it would work. And for the mass production, I'm talking about 26 pairs of Superleggeras, it didn't really work because it was too special, it was too much out there basically.
You mean the gloss?
The gloss, yeah. So we decided for the SP to go with the matte finish again, and but still I was playing around with colors. And for those of you who do not know, my entire life has been dedicated to skating, but also trying to find my way with jobs in order to learn as much as possible, not in a school way, but like how my mom would teach me, like you need to do it in order to be the best at what you do. So I started out with working with carbon for a bike manufacturer. That's where I learned how to paint, like actual spraying of frames. After this, I went into even like woodwork, metal work. Went into the foot side of things with my speed skate at the speed skate company, and every single idea was to my own skate shop at one point was to create a sort of platform in order for me to do this, because this has been my dream since I was 12 years old, to become like, this person that only dedicates himself to making skates. And it was difficult because it had to represent all of the above, what I did, how I came to these ideas, and how special it should be. And and in the end, I think, the SPX, the name was there. We were still trying to figure out a way who would buy it, are we going to keep it? And then at one point, I think I mentioned to maybe 2 or 3 people something. I just gave them, I don't think I gave them a name. I just gave like a whiff of, hey, I probably am going to build something that is a one-of-one, which is the SPX. And no timeline, basically, was also the thing I stressed. Like,
you already said this to, I think, 2 people it was last year, right? So more than 1.5 years ago, I think.
Yeah, exactly, And they were really positive. And there were also some closer friends I was thinking of, maybe like Jorma, who has been with the project, and of the Superleggera. Some other friends that came along that told me like, hey, I want a Superleggera. So I was thinking like maybe I can get it to those guys. And then out of the blue, I mentioned to Rich, who lives in Texas and has the first edition Superleggera. He also has the 10-year anniversary GTO, other adepts, and we always had a good connection, like through email, and so I think I kind of was like, we should make sure that the first 21 customers of the first Superleggera should get kind of maybe like the option.
Yeah, if they want it.
Yeah, I was also considering other people, and it was difficult, And then it got taken out of my hands on how easy it became, because Rich just wrote me an email. Like, I couldn't say no anymore at that point. It was fully clear. He just wrote me a motivational email on why he wants this skate and what this, like the Superleggera, but also what we do with level and all those things, or what we are doing, how it meant something to him. And I think that's always the thing with Adept. It's not like we're not just another company. So the customers that we try to touch with our product is on a different level, or we at least try, And there's a lot of passion and heart. You've been there for the entire ride with me, so I printed out the email.
It was basically a love letter.
It was a full love letter, but even like in the end, who do I need to fight in order to get this skate? Which for me was perfect. I was like, okay, he's the guy that is basically getting it. So and he was patient as well, because he basically was also like, he wanted to have the SP, but I told him like, hey, the SPX, we're gonna build it. And I was not sure, am I going to build the SPX before the SP? And I'm glad I didn't, because, it was good to do. It was exhausting the entire summer to work on the Superleggeras. But it put me so much into it. And this feels like a closure of not even the 10 years. It feels like the next step of the direction we're taking. And I think a Superleggera, the first one was the same. It was the first one, Superleggera, was like maybe the end of us making skates. That was on the table, right? And it gave me that fire again. And this one, when I finished it up, when we made the pictures and the shots, I was like, oof, this is next year, we're going there, we're doing stuff the way we want to, And so basically I took 3 weeks off of full dedication, which is a long time.
Yeah, and we talked about it, I think, for the last 6 months probably.
Yeah,
about
it's been in our focus mainly, like, okay, when I was building the Superleggeras, the SPs, I was thinking about what to do with this one, and it basically evolved from, should be like, the funny thing was I wrote Rich and I gave him a number of the cost, basically. I was like, okay, it's going to be a bit more expensive than the Superleggera SP. And Rich was just amazing because he basically gave me it's like somebody gives you a check with no number on it. And he's like, just do whatever you want to do and it will be amazing.
Yeah, it was just a wild card. Yeah.
That was it. And even in the end, like we wrote him, like this is maybe the cost. Maybe he would email me every time back, like upping the price. And I get it. And it's not about the cost, but it is, if you look at how I work on a Superleggera, it is the amount of work is insane. And we're basically a Superleggera is cheap.
Yeah.
It is.
For the amount of labor.
It is insane. You get full things that we developed. We developed everything basically. It is fully hand built and not in the way that other companies say, this is 100% dedication into one skate. And the price for a normal Superleggera is, if you compare it with what some brands are asking for skates, it is insane. And this one, Rich has been amazing in I don't know if you can say the cost, but it is the most expensive skate ever produced, period.
Yeah.
Even thinking of custom speed skates doesn't matter because I've been in that industry. Double it. I don't know, like maybe we should keep it out there.
Let's keep it between us
Let's
and
keep
Rich.
it, yeah, Rich was fine with sharing it, but let's keep it, yeah.
So talk a bit about the colorway and why did you want to go for glass? Yeah,
so carbon has been my, the black gold, I've been obsessed by it. With the car industry, motorbikes, I keep, still after all these years, I'm still obsessed by it. And I wanted to, this skate was more like, I didn't want to look at it as a skate. I wanted to look at it as an art object, basically, and what can I do? How can I combine all the things I learned over the years and put this into one skate? And it had to be gloss. It had to be with paint in it. It had to be with gold in it, because of the 10-year team, of course.
Yeah.
But it had to be done by hand. Crazy details. All the influences that I had over the last, I would say my life, but also the last couple of years. It had to have that small, that small detail, the stamp inside, the logo, my logo, basically the Masterpiece logo, and because I like Japan for the influence of Japanese, the way of how they live, the simplicity, and I wanted to have something in there that gives that vibe. The gold was like, I wanted to play around with the lines. Basically, we have the shell, which has already very nice lines on its own, but I wanted to play around with creating extra dimension within the skate, and I think we succeeded with it. I wanted to have like a black in there with a gold flake inside. I wanted to have the logo hand painted in there. So I think in the end it all came together as a one project, and the goal was to be as black as possible, of course, but with some gold details. We even got the gold in, so those are like basically one of ones on the strap. Nobody has those. And I was trying to find the lines within the skate. You saw the drawings, and which is pretty cool that you get basically with the skate, you get a lot of stuff. We're probably gonna do an unboxing of this because it's too much. But you basically get ideas. So you get my sketches all in a book, and also my motivation and stuff. And this is given with the skate basically. So it's very dear to me. So that's a nice thing. But yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
the way
really does.
Yeah. You should, you have to see it. It was even difficult to capture with the lens, like with the light. The gloss is just insane.
It's so glossy.
Rich is gonna hate us when he's skating it, basically, which he's not sure if he's gonna skate it or not. He hasn't seen it up to the point like we're filming it right now. He doesn't know how it looks. We didn't really share anything with him, only that it was like a carte blanche. You can just go whatever you want to do, which in the end was like the box, everything was just, we made another box and it didn't, that's the thing, you create some like pieces or whatever and then it's just not right. So we, of course,
made a new one.
We made a new one. Then we added something, and if you give me long enough, there's even, but yeah, that's gonna be all on the unboxing, of course. But there's an actual hand, not painted, but it's a drawing of the actual skate that you get in a picture frame. So there's so much stuff in there. It's been an amazing project, to be honest, to be able to do this. And I think when we, remember when we talked about the Harmanus one, the first skate we did, and getting even a bit of backlash from the team riders at that point. I remember Rick was like, because I said it needs to be with gold and stuff like this. And I also know when to stop with like details. So, when you look at this one, it's slivers of fine lines, it's like an art project where you try to find what's okay and what's not okay.
And you even changed the sliders. They're not the regular sliders.
So the SP has the sort of a plastic slider, which makes sense. This one doesn't make sense. So it's a very expensive slider, full carbon, pre-preg carbon, with hand painted, like, all in gloss. It doesn't make any sense. If you fall on it, it's, you're gonna damage it. But that's not my problem, so. But yeah, it's insane
we'll see
project.
If he skates it.
We'll see. He should.
He should at least once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how did the production process go?
You were there. You tell me.
It was a bit like watching an artist. It was a bit chaotic, but
I was super excited.
A lot of different
I tried
stuff.
a lot of things. Yeah. Some didn't work. I did some tests with gold, gold leaf, gold paint, gold flakes in paint. I think in the end this skate has over 10 layers of gloss, which are all again sanded, but to make it perfect. So it's been like, I think before the actual build of the skate was a struggle. And once I got started on it, like the shell was made during the Superleggeras, because I was on fire, and I had to make the shell, and then it sit there for a while. And I think once I started it, I think the end was most difficult, like finding out the box and what are we gonna do, and the booklet and all that, like making it come alive all together, like with the straps. It's an updated strap, it's a liner, 1-of-1 lining. It looks like the Superleggera, it's not. The insole normally is like on a Superleggera is a carbon, pre-preg carbon insole. I made a decision to go wild with the insole, and I think I worked 3 to 4 days on the insole.
It has the same gloss finish.
It has the same finish as the outside of the skate. You will never see it unless you take it apart or you take out the normal insole. And then you can maybe have a sneak peek. It has a logo, the Masterpiece logo inside you cannot feel the logo. It's it's a crazy project. We're also thinking of the 2023 model with this. So like small developments, feedback that we got from our dear customers that had the Superleggera SP. So we also tried to listen to this, and we already incorporated some small things, to refine it, make it better. But the lining on itself is just, I'm really happy about that. It's so perfect, and this one, it looks amazing. And it has like the nubuck reinforcements. The strap is like with a nylon based strap basically. So we're still trying to push the envelope with every skate that we're doing. It's just an amazing project, and I'm really happy that we got the opportunity to have this like carte blanche, where somebody just says go crazy, and we did, and it's amazing. And it even comes with I have to say, like it is also like my mom passed away, and she was basically my teacher in life. In the way I live right now is basically because of her, the details and everything, and because she was an artist, and she always would tell me, like, make sure it's just like the best you can do, but even like the slight imperfections sometimes can make something or create something, and that was always in the back of my head, so basically or in the back of my mind. And at one point I made a book for my mom before she passed away, with all her, like the best pieces that she selected basically. We made a book out of it for her artwork, for her market, of course. And it was like sold out, and she gave also some away to friends and stuff. But I have 2 copies, and Rich is basically getting one of those copies with a handwritten message inside, only for him. But that's basically, she was able to see the first Superleggera prototype, and I'm really glad she did, because she could see, like, oh, okay, so this is something completely new. And so basically this is also like a sort of a way of saying, like, a thank you or whatever. Everything in there is basically how I was brought up, and with the values in life and whatever, and the passion for making nice stuff, like producing cool stuff.
Well, it was quite a journey, this skate.
It has been,
Looks amazing, and looking forward to hearing what Rich has to say about it. You should make a reaction video or something.
Of course. It's crazy how adept, like, you need to see it in real life. Like, I actually, like, we were filming with the Superleggera in the bowl in Germany, and a skateboarder came to me and said, like, dude, like, these are the most amazing skates I've ever seen. What is this, And we get all these reactions from even kids that are excited. They're like, whoa, what is this? Because it looks so different than any other skate. And you cannot replicate this in a mass production, basically. This is all heart and soul. We didn't think about costs at all in this project. If something wasn't right, we sanded it down, went over it again with another layer, and then another layer, and until we had it perfect, and until the feel of everything was good. I think we started out with, should have 1 box, and now it ends up with 2 boxes, and all stuff that we made for the skate. So it's insane project, and we talked about it, making it a 1.5 of 1.5 because we normally keep all samples and prototypes.
We basically have a single skate at least of every
and we have the first Superleggera. #1, and we have the first SP #1, and this one we only made one, and it's going to Rich, and he's the caretaker of this skate, and I wish him all the best with this project. I hope he enjoys it. If it's only for looking at, perfect. If it's for a Sunday stroll, or like to steal all attention at the Friday night, it's the only weapon you have against the, the LED wheels. This is even more shiny than those, so, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it speaks for itself. It's never been done in the industry before. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody has done this, ever. And it goes to one lucky customer and a friend. So yeah, it's amazing. I think on that bombshell we should have another coffee, and so yeah,
yes.
Let's thank Rich for for the coffee that he's buying basically at this point.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.